family viewing.
In the way that we channel water for us to see the beauty in it, the highs and the lows of its beautiful, magnificent waves, is the same way that we can channel disability, not to see it as a hindrance to our goals, but to see it, as something that we can embrace for us to achieve our dreams. Now, welcome to Beyond the Limits. I am Muthoni Maina.
I'm Joseph Owino of BAMBA, a fourth-year student pursuing a degree in economics and statistics. And my disability came about as a result of a minor accident, which again came when I was a young individual. I was still a toddler, like 6 years of age, when I engaged in a minor accident that even explaining is a mystery in my life. So, from age 6 to 10, it was like a marathon in my life. I had thought it was over for me because after getting that minor accident, we sought for some medical conditions that could assist me, especially in massaging my hand. Then when we sought for such assistance, it made the situation worse than the way it was before. So at around age 9, now it forced my parents to take me to a nearby hospital so that they could check up what's going on with my hand. So when we went to the first hospital, they couldn't handle my situation. I was transferred to the next hospital. Spent the whole night in the hospital. We were told that the doctor who is handling such a case was transferred. That is, was transferred from Siaya to Kisumu Rush Hospital, as it's known, or Jaramogi Odinga. So when I transferred to Jaramogi Odinga the next day, when I saw my hand being worked on, I thought it was over for me, especially about my life. I thought I was done. If it would have not been cutting my hand off, I think I had seen myself next to the death point, because what I used to
Does he lack sleep? Like when he goes to bed, he can't sleep thinking about the event that happened to him. Does he have other disorders like related
for students with disability, but no, it was not operational. So again, for us to address the issues of our fellow students, we are like operating in a vacuum while there's an office has been locked and we can't access it. But we thank God, the grace of God has been with us. We try to push these things, although we don't want to involve in fights or fists. We just want to engage soberly and ensure that everything works well. Because when the office is there, it is for the benefit of the students and like me and other fellows, so that is the place we can meet and work on our issues as students who are able different in this institution. Because we are here not because of sympathy, but we are here because of merit. One thing that we always champion for is inclusion, be it in games, be it in any other activity that takes place, entertainment and all other sorts of initiatives that is taking place in the institution. We always yearn for inclusion because that is when there will be that strong bonding. And like when there's inclusion, everybody will get to understand that this is my fellow, he or she has diverse needs. I should get to understand this. You get that? So what we advocate for is inclusion in every other activity taking place. And this is happening even, not even just here, but in many other universities around. The representation of students with disability in the student bodies is a big problem. First is because there's a bill that was enacted into force in 2016 called the Universities Amendment Act. It delimited the representation of students with disability in their campuses. It only allows for most of us to be elected, but you get to know that the scenarios or the situation that we are in most of our universities doesn't allow students with disability to participate fully in the political process. And you know, even the political situation in this country, very violent. One thing about inclusion is, like we always say, charity begins at home. Inclusion should also begin from our families, the basic social unit, because that's when we'll breed like a society that is fully inclusive. You get that? So from that basic point, we'll have to ensure that we have a community that is fully inclusive, allows for everybody to be part of the team that we have. You get that? So that at least when I have a need, that this other person doesn't feel, this other person doesn't think of, but we'll get to understand that this person must be assisted. You get that? Inclusion from the basic social unit, because we can't go say that the government is denying us inclusion in our own background. We are not including these people in the activities that we're doing. Even if he or she has no ability, engage him or her to do even the special activity at a funny kidogo. It will be of great help. Our office, we have students who have physical impairment, visual impairment, and hearing impairment. Both regular studies, there are those doing the DBEL, the distance-based learning. There are those also joining us through that mode, and there are those also doing the virtual mode. So from this point, the blending allows each one of them to participate fully in the school ecosystem. So everybody, studies in a mode that allows him, to juggle with his studies, and if he can participate in an income-generating activity to push him overboard, so well, so good. For me, that's always my first priority, to ensure that everybody, you do what you have a great interest in, what you are passionate about, go do it. If there are limitations, that we have control over, we'll try to push them up, engage with the administrators who can help us level them down, so that you can at least access this well and good, so that at least you exploit your potential. We always say that go to school, for the students able differently. We tell the parents or the caregivers, take these children to school.
You are watching TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV 47.
Excuse me, you dropped a coin.
Just 5 shillings.
5 shillings? Just 5 shillings? It all begins with just 5 shillings, whether it's the Juakali industry.
Every challenge is an opportunity.
TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Leadership, they say, is a call. It's a calling. Serving here currently as the chairperson of Mount Kenya University Special Needs has its fair share of challenges. You get there are people who haven't accepted disability fully. There are those who are not informed about issues of disability. So there are those who will welcome you. There are those who when you face them is a big problem. So we try to educate people to tell them no, these people, they didn't apply to be this way. They didn't want also to be this way, but creation has made us this way. We can't live in denial. It has happened. Let's look into how we can move on. Help these people the way you can. If you are in an office, make sure it's accessible to persons with disability. One problem is about infrastructure. You get that? For persons with disability, even leave alone the school setup, even where they seek assistance in the government facilities and private facilities, infrastructure has not been well conducive for them. Another thing for students in institutions of learning, there's a big problem. The cost of education for persons with disability is very high compared to those who have no disability. Because when you look into the issue, like for example, students who are visually impaired, my pen, which costs 10 shillings, he or she doesn't use a pen, uses a braille machine. What's the cost? It's 80,000 plus. While you are using an item costing 10 shillings to do the same function. A braille paper for them is the same to me, is a book for me. A book, I can even buy an excess book for at a cost of 20 shillings. But for them, the least you can buy for a braille paper is a rim which costs 750 shillings. So you get the parity. There's that wide difference in the costing. And these are students, you want to admit to school, you want him or her to come with a braille machine, braille papers enough for him or her to study. You want him or her to again pay fees, pay for accommodation. And with person with disability, they have been affected, especially by, most of them are not coming from well-off backgrounds. So it's again another problem for them. When you see most of them in schools, I can just say it's the grace of God. Yeah. In our school, for us in our school, we have ensured that braille machines are offered by the institution, so that at least these students can learn efficiently. I know you don't have to buy, because even in primary schools, secondary schools, they are offered by the institution. So when you force them to buy at this point, and the cost of education, especially higher learning, is very expensive as per now. So you'll be telling them stay away from school. Don't go pursue your degree or your diploma or whatever you want to do in the university. So it will be a bit hectic for them. Another thing is they are offered with braille papers. Again, we are trying for students who have physical impairment and can't access the normal venues. We try with the relevant offices so that their classes can be shifted to where it's accessible, especially those with physical disability, the wheelchair users, and those who have problems with their lower limbs. Yeah, that's the basic we do. And also, we are planning to have a Disability Awareness Day in the institution, so the university staff, the general university students population are advised, are well informed on the needs of these fellows, because there are those who are living in ignorance on matters of disability. Yeah, because we guide each other. Like, for me, yes, I don't know sign language interpretation, but I can look into a way when I have a fellow who is hearing impaired, can communicate, get to know what is the problem, how is it going here and there. But, you know, for them, they won't even know that this person has disability. And that is something that when we have awareness engagements can help us a lot, because most people think that disability is only visible. No, but there are disabilities that are very invisible. Somebody can be visually impaired, but he or she is seeing. You know, there's that element of low vision also. So awareness still needs to be done to higher levels. What we want is, after having an engagement on matters awareness, we want to forge partnerships with organizations that work in the disability arena, so that they engage with the school, be it the Kenya Institute of the Blind, the Kenya Sign Language, you know, so that the general student population, because on matters of disability, it's not about the students with disability only. It should involve also the society, because when you are a parent, you only have one child who's hearing impaired. You know, it will force you to seek ways into which you can help this particular child. Not just by hiring a sign language interpreter. No, you yourself, you should also get to learn this, so that you get how to communicate with this child, so that he or she can feel part and parcel of the community. That's very crucial. Yeah, so we want to have formidable partnerships to see into how the welfare of the students with disability in this university can be well mainstreamed. Most support goes into financing the education of students with disability, but still there's we can say a lot has not been done. One, because the funding doesn't support everybody. There are those having financial needs, there are those who are supported. So how can we assist these others also? And again, not just in the university. Let's start it from the lower levels of learning, so that these people can be supported supported at early stages of learning, so that they can aim to reach their higher potential. You get that? Because we're having a problem. The numbers are big in primary schools, in high schools, but when you come to the higher learning institutions, the numbers are diminishing. So it's a big problem again. So funding of education, especially for persons with disability, is again another problem that we want to engage with different stakeholders to ensure that there's increased funding of education of persons with disability, so that these people can access education at the lowest amounts or lowest budgets possible, so that at least they can also see that we are going for this. There's that team spirit, yeah, that we have been supported by the government. Let's go achieve this, yeah, so that we prove them that they have done a good thing for us. Personally, you know, as an outgoing fellow, making friendships is very easy for me. So, you know, like, one thing is building now the relationship. How can we bond, and what can we do after making that friendship? That's the thing. So, like, my mind is about friendships that can help us make change. I'm passionate about driving change, especially in the lives of persons with disability, be it students and youth with disability in general. Not just in school here, but even from my locality where I come from. I want to engage with different people on board, so that we can get in formidable ways that these people can be assisted, be it through when we do advocacy, we do awareness, and even call for empowerment of these fellows, because most of them are not in school, but their age, you know, they look at their age, they say, my age, I can't, with my age, I can't enroll in an institution of learning. So how can we empower these people outside education? So that's why I decided, no, I can enroll to a course that at least can help me in linking up with the different individuals, different bodies, so that I get the skills, I get the knowledge to help in making change, so that people can be empowered back in the society. It has happened to me even while I joined university, because being that I'm coming to a new place for the first time, you know, that environment is new for you. It's new. So like most of the time I used to wear long shirts or pullovers, even during hot conditions, so that at least I reduce the rate of people staring at me, you know, like people are staring at you, you know, up to the point that he or she will leave staring at you when you've passed each other. So I didn't like that, but I came to take it as normal nowadays. And you know, like Romans 8:28 says that for everything works for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. This disability sometimes we can see as an impediment or an impairment to do something, but there is something hidden that God has placed for us. And I know what most people lack is the support, the necessary support to help them reach their potential. But when families can come out, when individuals can rise up to support these fellows, you can see the extent they reach. And I have great examples to give you. We have this the State House DJ Euphoric. He's somebody, when I get to hear his story, his family stood strong with him at his lowest point. Where is he now? I know wherever his family is, they are proud of him. But because they supported him, they never abandoned him. You get that? We have Mheshimiwa Isaac Mwaura, who is championing for the issues of persons with disability. If it would have not been people standing up for him, he would have not reached the point he is in. So we have living examples, but let us seek into ways of supporting these people. Let's have a culture of supporting these individuals so that they can live to their potential. Because when they're successful, they'll come back to build the community, to change the community, because they'll be role models to people. That's what I always advocate for. When we have a culture of assisting these fellows, for any way you can assist them, so that at least you help them build a life that they'll feel that I'm part and parcel of the community. It will be better for them.
Such an inspirational story right there by Joseph Owino that gives us the very much needed prognosis in life. This was Beyond the Limit. I am